If you want to see more companies make things in America, consider buying more things from companies who are already doing that very thing. Companies like American Giant. These guys have been making t shirts, sweatshirts, flannels, and blue jeans in America for the last 14 years, with cotton grown right here in the USA. That means good jobs for lots of hardworking Americans in factory towns all over the country. Check out their stuff in stores everywhere or pick up something awesome at American-Giant.com.
Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing. I'm Ben, your allotment guide, and here to help you cultivate your garden and your passion for plants. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Each episode will dig into tips, tricks and techniques to make your garden and allotment thrive. From planting, sowing and growing, we will share all the tips and advice. We will also have regular episodes talking about what we have been up to on the allotment. So sit back, grab a brew and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. It's a brand new week. The weekend is finally over. Unfortunately, no. Not what we want, but wow, what a weekend it has been. It's been absolutely gorgeous. Where is winter? Where is the cold weather of autumn? This is actually a really nice autumn that we're having. And as I mentioned in my tour video, what I've shared on YouTube yesterday, it's not actually rained for ages. Has anyone realised that? It's not rained for ages. And when I was looking at my garlic and my onions, like some of them haven't started popping through yet, and that's probably because we've not had no rain to water them. So I've had to water them, and it's not often you'd be watering outside in this sort of weather. But yeah, I'm having to water my garlic and my onions to get them going, which is hard, which you wouldn't often think about, to be honest. One of the jobs that I did over the weekend was fill all my water butts back up because they turn our water off at our allotment site over winter period because they don't want the pipes to freeze and them to burst, even though they never usually do. But yeah, they've started turning it off again. And we have to make sure we've got enough water because they don't turn it on till like April time. And I usually start all my seeds off in March. So I'll need to keep them watered from the beginning of March, if you get me. Obviously, I've got the water on my plot as well for my water butts outside, but while ever the water's turned on, I'll be using it out of the tap until they turn it off, and then I'll have to start using it out of the water butts, which I don't really want to be using. So we need it to start raining. I don't really want to say this, but we do need some rain. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some rain soon. We'll have to check the forecast on that. But I did get absolutely loads of work done down at the allotment. And like I said, if you've not checked out my tour video for my allotment for this weekend, go and check it out on my YouTube channel called Gardening with Ben, and you'll be able to see how well my allotment's coming on. It's starting to look fantastic. All the beds are cleared. The paths are nearly all cleared. I've still got a couple more paths to sort out. Then they're all done. Then I've cleared the top of my plot. I've cleared quite a bit of area of that, so I'm pleased about that. I'm having visions now of what I want to do up there for next year because I built this area at the top of my plot a couple of years ago, but I've never really used it to its full advantage. I just used it to make it look good, to be honest, because I'd never used it in the 17 years that I'd had the allotment. So I thought, I'm going to get it all clear. We're going to get it designed, and then we never planted anything in it, apart from a few herbs. But yeah, next year I'm going to get all this back area of my plot up to looking pretty good. And I've got some visions for it. I'm thinking like alpine plants up at the top of my plot, along with more herbs and everything like that. Things that are easy to grow. And I thought alpines will look nice because they'll just like cover the ground. And some have flowers on them as well. So we're going to look for some that have got flowers on and get them all planted out. So hopefully we're going to have a nice new area on my allotment next year, as I like to invest a bit of money into my plot each year, and an area that I've done up and it's worthwhile, if you get me. So each year I'll spend a bit of money on a different area. So I'm thinking of getting this top area sorted once and for all, get some alpines in, get some paving down, sort out the borders, make it look good. And I know you're not meant to spend lots of money on allotments, but I haven't got a garden, so I love to see money going into it and it looking nice. And the less maintenance that I have to do on it, the better overall. Because like this year is probably like the first year that I'm not having to do much maintenance on my plot, because it's getting to that standard where it's all pretty much good, looking good, and I don't have to do anything on it. The only investments that I'm going to be spending on it over time is to get my paving done, because paving slabs are expensive. So every year I'm going to be buying a few more paving slabs, and eventually it'll all be paved and my paths won't get muddy or anything like that. They'll all be nicely paved so that I can walk around nice and easy. Most of my plot is actually paved, all my paths. I've been getting there over the 17 years of having the plot. Whenever anybody's given up their allotment and it's empty, I've usually scoured it for paving slabs. All the secrets are coming out now. Shh, don't tell anyone. But yeah, paving slabs are expensive. They're like gold. So if I see any paving slabs, I'll have them if it's an empty plot, if you get me. But yeah, hopefully next year it's going to look a bit more better as well. A bit more investment into the top area of my plot and making that look good. So what have we been up to down at the allotment this weekend? That is what this podcast is meant to be about. I've got off on another tangent again. I always do this. So this weekend, my allotment, it has been a case of clearing the top of my plot, which I have been talking about. So that is all right. So we've cleared the top area of my plot. We've got rid of all the leaves, what had blown down, put them into the compost bin. Leaves will still keep blowing down for quite a few weeks because there's still loads of leaves on at the moment. But we've cleared all that, cleared all the bindweed, cleared all the brambles, got that all sorted, cleared a lot of the paths, which is a pain because I am a messy gardener. Like I say, I'll empty my beds, but I'll just chuck all the weeds on the path, which is no good for anyone. So really, I should put them into a tub straight away and then put them into the compost heap. But I don't. I make life difficult and I just chuck them on the path. Then what else did we do? We potted up my salvia. I've got all my salvias potted up now. They look absolutely fantastic. There were loads of flowers on them, on all my cuttings. So I'll be putting a video out this week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But basically, I potted them up and I've cut the flowers off to make the root system better on it and to hopefully push more shoots out on the cutting and what's growing, and hopefully we'll get some nice bushy plants next year. So fingers crossed we'll get that sorted. We also filled up my bird feeders, obviously keeping the birds happy. Got to keep the birds happy down at the allotment. Expensive things, but the birds and the squirrels, should I say. We have pinched out all my sweet peas. A video will be coming for that as well. We have potted up my geraniums. A video is coming out for that. I'm filming loads of videos for you all. I hope you're all enjoying all these videos. And if you're not following my YouTube channel, do give it a follow, because I'm putting a lot of time and effort into all my YouTube videos. And I would like it to get monetized eventually. But it's so hard to get YouTube monetized. Obviously everything that I earn from these podcasts and from bits and bobs like that, it all goes back into my allotment for your videos and for your podcast to show you what I'm doing and stuff. So it's all worthwhile. So yeah, I know there's quite a few adverts in these podcasts, but like I said, it all goes back into my allotment and it's all goes back into the labour of it. What else have we done? That has been pretty much it. It doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot. We have spent a lot of time down there this weekend. And next weekend, I'm going to get absolutely scratched to death. So get ready for the pain from that podcast. Down where all my fruit trees are, there's a lot of brambles growing from my neighbour's plot, so I need to prune all them back. I won't be able to dig them out because they're in an awkward spot, but I'll trim them right back to the base. I do that every year, and then by the time it comes to next winter, they'll have grown back again. They usually last about a year before they get bad again, so we'll prune them all back and chop them all back. And then in a few weeks, when my fruit trees are completely bare, I'm going to give them a winter wash. Now, I don't know if you've heard of a winter wash. You can get it on Amazon, and basically it is a chemical, unfortunately. But I spray all my fruit trees when they're completely bare, and it'll stop any insects from living in the tree and hatching on the tree and stuff like that. It just gives them protection over the winter, and then I'll do it again in the springtime before they start budding up. And also I'll be getting some sticky tape things what you put around the trees to stop anything from crawling up and nesting in the tree, like bugs and stuff like that. So I like to put a bit of attention into my fruit trees to protect them for the year ahead, and hopefully stop anything from eating the apples that can, as there's like something called a winter moth or something like that, and it crawls up the tree and it nests in it and it hatches, and then it'll like eat your fruit and stuff like that. So the more I can do to stop stuff getting eaten, the better, really. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. We're going to be sorting out my fruit area, which will be a full weekend's work again. I usually split it over 2 days. That'll be my task for the week, and then I'll do little jobs in between that, like anything that I need to pot up or anything that I need to sort out a path or a bit like that. I do a few other jobs in between. I don't just do that all weekend, if you get me. But that's my main project for next weekend. I like setting myself little project areas to do, and once I've done them, I can tick them off. I know I don't put too much pressure on myself to do a massive area of my allotment. I'll say I'll do that chunk this weekend, I'll do that chunk next weekend, a bit like that, and you get it all done eventually. And that's the best way of doing it. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, or it becomes a chore, and it's not a chore. It's fun and good for the mental health and everything like that. So I hope you've enjoyed these podcasts. I really do. Make sure you do give us a follow if you don't follow us already. Make sure you follow us YouTube, follow us Instagram, follow us Facebook page. And yeah, I'm hoping that you're all enjoying all this content, because you all keep coming back. And like I said, this podcast is here to stay now. It's every single day. I'm trying to get it off the ground, get it going again. So the more shares of this podcast to any of your gardening friends will help a lot. So until next time, everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you have found some useful tips and inspiration for your own gardening and allotment journey. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Your support helps us grow this community and continue bringing you great content. You can also follow us on social media on every platform called Gardening with Ben for daily gardening tips and updates. Happy gardening, and until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.